Welcome to Burning the Edge. We would like to welcome to the T our host, Mr. Arthur Miller Jr.
Thank you for listening to the Burn the Edge podcast. This is your host, Arthur Miller Jr. I want to thank you for checking us out. Been off for a while. We've been having some things going on, but we are back on the saddle. We're going to talk to Jeff Carter out of the Arkansas APT chapter. He's a Division IV Player of the Year on the APT. He's a guy I met in March playing with him in El Dorado, Arkansas at the Mystic Creek Golf Course there. A very nice golf course there. And my guy I've been knowing for a couple of years, man, and we kind of just hit it off. He lived here in Memphis for a little while, and I think he loved it here, but he ended up going across the river to Arkansas. We always welcome him back. He comes over here to play with us on the APT. Welcome to the T, Jeff.
Appreciate it.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. How you doing, Arthur?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I can't complain, man. Excuse my wrinkled shirt, Yeah. It is. It's been one of them days, man.
I
see you over there.
I was really hoping you had a Memphis shirt on tonight.
Hey,
but I know we need to do a different podcast when basketball season starts.
There you go. Yeah. That'll work because I think they trying to start their series back up with Memphis and Arkansas.
They are. They don't like us coming over there recruiting though. So,
hey, I feel like this.
They did Nolan wrong back in the day. They wouldn't let to run here in Todd Day, and then they want to let us come back across the bridge.
Hey, I think you got to battle with Penny now, man. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
When he wants somebody, it's done. It seems like he get whoever he wants, pretty much.
I'm just trying to get some retro Penny shoes from Penny. That's all I'm trying to do.
You don't like the foam posits?
The foam posits. That's what I need. Yeah. That's what I need. Yeah.
Do you know that I don't own not one pair of high tops, man?
You go all low top?
All low tops. Yeah. I don't own not one single pair of high tops, man.
Yeah.
You be rocking them though. I have to give it to you.
Yeah, I break them out. I'm old though.
I know you like your Jordans most of the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to have some Jordans.
Yeah, you like Keegan Bradley.
Yeah, Keegan Bradley got those exclusives, though. You can't even buy his stuff.
Really?
No, his is straight exclusive for him only.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but you'll see like Harold Varner, he'll wear the ones you can buy,
Right.
They're still hard to get, though.
Yeah. It seems like as soon as they go on sale, if you don't buy them quickly, they'll be gone.
Yep. Or you got to sneak around your wife and buy them on StockX on the down low.
What is StockX? I'm not familiar.
That's a company that sells them after the fact. So, like say if they retail for $220 on StockX, they're going to be, depending on the shoe, they're going to be at least $100 over retail.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pass.
I just want to let you know I've never bought any shoes off of StockX.
No. Is that the truth, Jeff?
I'm just saying, bro. I've just never been on there. I just heard about it.
You just heard about it?
Somebody just told me about it.
Hey, is your wife around somewhere else?
I'm not sure where she's at right now.
I know how it is, though, The only thing I had my wife go through my drawer, so she see my receipts sometimes. So if I don't want her to know about it, I don't bring the receipts. I get email receipts, so she can't see.
There you go. Don't leave a paper trail, especially on those golf clubs.
Right. She saw a receipt one time when I bought I got an iron set. And she was like, "You paid this much for these cups?" Like, man, you got to read where the trade-in was. And then you look all the way down to the bottom. She ain't look at none of that. Yeah. She ain't look at the bottom number. She looked at how much they retail for,
She didn't look at the credits.
Yeah, nah, she didn't see the credit on there. And I'm like, look, these pings, man, they just, you don't get discount on pings.
That's right.
Ping, what is it, Ping and Titleist.
Yeah.
You can hang it up. You ain't getting no breaks on them.
No.
So, man, hey, Jeff, how did you get to the game of golf, man?
How did I get there?
Yeah.
Crazy story, man. So when I was a little bitty boy, so my mom and dad divorced when I was 6 months old. So basically, I still had a good relationship with my dad, but he lived in a town about an hour and a half away. So when I was like first grade, when I would get out of school, My sister is 8 years older than me, so she would usually be doing something else, like be at a friend's house after school. She'd go stay with a friend. My mom worked for Weyerhaeuser, and she worked long hours. So I would get out of school and I would walk, or once I got old enough to ride a bike, but most time I was walking it's about 2 miles to my aunt's flower shop. And it was called Marie's Flowers. She had a lady in there that loved to play golf, just loved to play golf. So she's like, I'm going to teach you how to play golf, Jeff. And so I think her way of getting out of working for my aunt was to say, hey, I'm going to take your nephew to go play golf. And thinking back about it, I'm sure she was still on the clock.
Yeah.
We had like a little par 3 course at the time here in Hot Springs, 9-hole par 3 course. And she took me out there. And that's really when I first got introduced to golf. And me and her probably played until I think I was about 5th grade, and then she quit or, went and did something else. And then, back then, this was back in the 70s and 80s, golf wasn't cool then. I got to junior high, you couldn't tell nobody you played golf.
Right.
I mean, I got to play football, basketball. So I went all through junior high, high school, college, never picked up a golf club, never thought about a golf club. And then I went through a pretty rough divorce, right? My mom's like, you gotta find something to do. You gotta find a hobby.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. Well, one day she pops up at my apartment and got this, dude, it was a leather golf bag. I'm not lying. It looked like it come over on the Mayflower. This thing, boy, it had Jesus' phone number in the front pocket of the golf bag. I'm not lying to you. It was a set of, of course, now I don't know nothing about golf at this point. You know what I mean? Not really. And it had an old set of Tommy Armour blades.
Dang.
The last thing somebody that don't know how to hit a golf ball needs, right?
Right.
She goes, go figure out how to play golf again. So we'd go out and so that par 3 course was still open. So me and some of my buddies, they were horrible too. One of them kind of knew a little bit about golf, and we'd go to this par 3 course. I don't drink, but they'd go out there. It was just a drink fest, and no life's honest to God story. So I had any idea how to swing a club. Just don't know. And it was about an 80-yard, there wasn't a hole more than 100 yards. This one was about 80 yards. I got like a 3-iron, a 3-iron blade. Like if you hand that to me right now, Arthur, I couldn't hit this dude across the street.
Right.
So I get down there, dude. I do some old crazy swing, and the ball kind of takes off a little bit, and it hits the green. That dude rolls right into the cup, dude.
You got to be kidding me.
I swear. So that was my claim to fame. They put it in the newspaper too, in the sports section.
Yeah.
All of them, Jeff Quarter hole in one. It was hilarious. So then eventually my drunk buddies done went on and did something else, right? They done went and got married or whatever. So then I got out of golf again. Well, then I got in the car business. And in the car business, everybody played golf at that point. And that's kind of that was probably in my late 20s. And then one of my good friends I met there, we started playing quite a bit. He was real good, though, and I was horrible. And I don't want to say any names, but there was a certain private course around here, and it was straight private. My buddy and his friend find out, how you got to go and give your member number, right, to get a card. Well, they didn't somehow figured out the member numbers.
Uh-oh.
He would go in and say, hey, I'm 213. They go, oh, hey, Dr. So-and-so. Well, they'd pull the carts out on the side, and I'd get out of the car and jump in the cart with my little clubs, and we'd run out and play this private course. And so that's when I really kind of got into it.
Yeah.
Eventually, one of them sold furniture, right? He was supposed to be a doctor. And it cost you, this was like 25 years ago. Back then, it was $100 to play there if you wasn't a member, but you had to be with a member.
Right.
And one of the guys, he was supposed to be a doctor, right? His number was a doctor guy, right? But he sold furniture. One day, the manager of this golf course walks in the furniture store, and he's like, "Hey, Dr. So-and-so," and he got a badge on. He covered with a badge, but he's the only one working that day, so he's got to help the guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking for a recliner or something. He's like, "Oh, I could help you." He's like, "You could help me." He's like, "Yeah." So the guy leaves, calls. Calls back to the story. You ever come on my golf course again, I'm calling the police.
Hey, that is crazy,
That's
man.
kind of my introduction to golf. And then, I just kind of played at it, right? I didn't really get serious with it. I wasn't any good, very rarely kept score,
Right.
And then I guess, man, really it's about 2000 and, let me start over. So I coached AAU basketball. My best friend's kids and then my kids played. And they was, when they got old enough to play AAU, my buddy was on me about doing it. But I coached them in Pee Wee football too. So by the time it got to summertime, I was and then we coached them in league, like boys club basketball.
Right.
Once it got to summer, I was over it, John.
Right.
Like, man, I'm ready to give it a rest.
Right.
So he was just on my case about it. So finally, when our boys were fifth graders, we started an AAU team with a bunch of football players. And it got so crazy. They got so good at basketball after like a year or two, they all quit football except a couple. And then we had so many kids, we had to make two teams. And we traveled everywhere. And so I didn't play no golf then. It was just like if we wasn't in season, we was begging for money, doing fundraisers. Our life was committed to these. I mean, we had probably 30 boys,
Right.
So after our boys graduated high school, couldn't play AAU anymore, I was like, man, I kind of like wanted to be, because I'm a competitive person, I wanted to find something to do. And my buddy that I used to play with all the time, he started having a kid every other week. So he quit playing, he got a babysit. So just one day I said, man, I'm going to figure out how to play golf for real. Like, I'm not going to go out and shoot 100, right. To an extent. But if you're kind of wanting to be serious, you start shooting 100 every time.
Right.
Me, personally, it's just not no fun.
Right.
You going and buying top flight balls, and going out into the woods and the water. So 2015 or 16 is when the basketball was all over. And I said, man, I just really want to get good at it. So that's when I took it serious, started taking some lessons. And then you know how it is. Got to be watching YouTube, trying to figure out how to hit a golf ball. And that's just, and then I was just playing by myself most of the time. Go play by myself. Every now and then my buddy that I played with would play. And then I bump into a childhood friend of mine one day here in Hot Springs, and he's playing on Golf Week, which I had never heard of. And then he introduced me to Golf Week, and I got addicted. And then it kind of just took off from there.
Right.
Yeah.
So what year was that when you first started on Golf Week?
Let's see. That would probably be 2022. It was before COVID for sure. I want to say it was 2019, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 18 or 19, somewhere right in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how has your experience been playing on the Golf Week? And I mean, now you're playing on the APT with us too.
Yeah.
What do you think about each of them?
Let's see. So here in Arkansas, we got a new chapter APT, and my buddy Larry Burrow.
L Boogie.
Yeah. I got another nickname for him, but I don't want to put it on this podcast. I'll tell you about that off there. Yeah. So Larry and me met on Golf Week. Golf Week here in Arkansas has had the same owner for, I think they said 20 years. This guy's owned it.
Wow.
Got a huge following. It's the only game in town. Only thing I've ever heard about playing amateur golf in Arkansas was Golf Week. Like they played their finals a few weeks ago, and he probably had 100 people in that, and a lot of the nicer courses he sells out. So far as on Golf Week, the competition, the amount of players, I made a lot of good friends over there. APT, I will say, and I'm not dogging on Golf Week by any means, but APT, the trophies are a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Super nice trophies on APT. Go to Hilton. I've been to Hilton, had 3 times with Golf Week.
Right.
You get a little gift bag. It's mostly filled with stuff you're never going to use, which is, whatever. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But I went to APT finals for the first time this year in Nashville, man. Get a real nice Turtleson shirt. Got two under underwear, them dudes like $30-$40 a piece.
Right. Right.
Retail.
Right.
What else I get? Something else I got. I can't even remember. But plus, and then they had some going. I mean, they had free food mostly every night if you wanted it.
Right.
They were doing something.
Right.
So I would say, it's been tough for Larry here but like if you started a hamburger store or a hamburger restaurant, it's going to be tough for a while.
Right.
You know how to start a new business. I guess if you bought some franchise like Five Guys or something, maybe you could jump right in there and be busy. But starting a small business, it takes a while, you know. And then you got a guy that's got pretty much the market sold up. You know what I mean? Arkansas is a small state, so there's only so many golf courses.
Right.
And I'm sure part of it, the guy on Golf Week's got a long-standing relationship with a lot of these guys. And I wouldn't say they would say, well, we're not going to let APT play there because I don't think that's the case.
Right.
But, if it comes down to wanting to use the same weekend or whatever, I'm sure, Larry's going to say, well, I got 30 people, 40 people. And the other guy's going to say, well, I got 100. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I guess there's pros and cons to both ways. So
right.
I really enjoy both of them, to be honest with you.
Right.
But I know Larry more personable. You know what I mean?
Right.
We really become pretty close. It's kind of weird, he lives like 3 hours from me.
Yeah.
Still in Arkansas, but it's like, ways away. But we talk like a lot, quite a bit, and so, and then for some reason, we used to get paired up a lot on Golf Week. And we like to talk trash. So, and he used to be pretty good. He's horrible now. I don't know what happened, dude. Somebody put a hex on this dude. I'm telling you, Arthur, this dude can't hit a 9-iron 60 yards.
What?
And then not to get off subject here, but he takes the club. I mean, he got the John Daly swing. And
wow.
The Cardinal saying, you don't tell somebody how to fix their golf swing.
Right.
But I just had to tell him. We was playing. Where was we playing? Oh, in our finals, ABT finals at Fairfield Bay. I had to tell him, bro, you're bringing the head of the club's touching your hip. You know what I mean? We got to shorten this thing up, bro. You know what he said? I know.
Yeah, that's him right there. I know. That sounds just like him. Yeah.
I love that dude, though. Yeah, so anyway, but it's really, man, I like one thing I do like about APT is the finals.
Right.
The championship is somewhere different all the time.
Right.
Golf Week's Hilton Head every time, which I love it there. My wife loves it there, but it's expensive, man. It's an expensive trip. I've went 3 times. We flew it twice and drove it once. The last time we went, we drove. And, and from here, you can't drive it. Well, I guess if you're young, you could, but we stopped in Atlanta, spent the night, So by the time you do that, and then you get to Hilton Head and you stay a week, and you know how it goes.
Right.
Like Nashville, it's a 5-hour drive for us. So that was easy. But which next year they're going to, where are they going? Myrtle Beach, so same thing. So that's cool. But I do like how they switch it around.
Right. Speaking of the finals in Nashville, man, what was you said you got the nice tea gifts, and I didn't get a chance to go this year. I went last year and it was at Pinehurst. And I mean, it was very, very nice. I mean, the facilities there were, you paid for them. Don't get me wrong. But the room that I stayed in, man, it was probably one of the nicest hotel rooms I ever stayed in.
Did y'all have to stay on the property?
You had to stay on the property.
Was that expensive?
It was a little expensive, but it was well worth it. I'm just going to be honest about it. Like, the room that I had was really nice. It was in, I think it was called the Manor. And it was, it looked like it was a newer, kind of the outside looked older, where it was like the big columns and all that stuff or whatever. But the inside of it, I mean, the rooms were magnificent, man. I really enjoyed the room there and just to stay there. And I really didn't get to walk around as much as I would have liked. I'm like you. I think you stayed in Nashville for a week, didn't you?
I did, an Airbnb.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do next time, man, because you get to kind of walk around and see some other things instead of just, you get there the night before, you getting up the next day, you playing golf, and then by the time you finish playing golf, you're like, oh man, I just want to eat and go to bed,
Yeah.
So yeah. So have you stayed that long in Nashville before?
I'll be honest with you, man. When many, many moons ago, when I lived in Memphis, I worked for Foot Locker, and then I ended up going to TJ Maxx. And TJ Maxx sent me to Nashville for training, which was back in the early 90s. But they sent me to a suburb called Antioch, outside of Nashville.
Yeah.
And I was I was probably mid-20s. I wasn't really into, if I ate McDonald's, I was good back then. I wasn't worried about going to find a foodie spot.
Yeah.
So I would go. I had to work in the store all day long training. I just leave, go to the motel.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So this was really to be honest, my first time ever going to Nashville. Never really been. Me or my wife, matter of fact. Yeah.
So did you enjoy Nashville?
Man, did I, man. This place is crazy. So I'm not a country guy. Like, I sound country, don't get me wrong. I sound like I probably got a cow in the backyard, but I'm not. I grew up on hip hop, R&B. That's like I've been DJing since I was 14.
Yeah.
Like, if Run DMC's coming, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Tell me where they're going to be. That's my kind of guy. That's the kind of guy I am. So when they said Nashville, I was like, oh, man, this going to be country and Western. And my dad, man, God rest his soul, he loved country and Western. Drove me crazy, man. I just couldn't stand. He was like, old school Conway Twitty. It was crazy. So anyway, but when I get there, man, it's like nothing really like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had a childhood friend I grew up with. I hadn't seen him since 2009, though, but he lived there. So they took us kind of around. And then my wife's classmate is a vice president of something at Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah.
So he got us sent tickets to the Doobie Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we were supposed to be able to see the NHL team, the Predators, opening night.
Yeah.
It's another story. My wife screwed that all up, but it's okay. But we got to see them practice, though. We went to go see the Predators practice, which was super cool.
Yeah.
Like downtown Nashville, like on Broadway, that's where all the bars are.
Right.
All different kind of music. There's country, there's rock, there's all kind of stuff going on.
Right.
But if you kind of venture out of that street, man, it's like being in New York City, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's huge. That's nothing. The picture I had in my mind, that's not what I had.
Yeah.
We had a blast, man.
Yeah.
We had a blast.
Yeah. Down where you, I think, does Broadway run off the river down there?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a real nice place down there.
It's crazy. If you went all the way to the end of Broadway, there's a park, and then you can see where the Titans play. You can see the stadium from right there. Right there. Yeah. It's a cool place, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
Yes, sir.
So other than
stood me up though.
What'd you say?
I couldn't believe you stood me up though.
Hey man, I just got too much stuff going on here. It's just ridiculous.
I would have played a lot better if you'd have been there.
I believe it. Yeah. You probably wouldn't have had to, one thing about the finals, you always get to meet people like that you probably from all over the place, that you would never, ever meet, met a guy from, I think I met a guy from like West Virginia or something. I'm like, West Virginia ain't big as a damn nickel. And you meet somebody from there, and that was playing in the Golf Week finals.
Oh, well, cool.
Yeah, but playing in that and playing in the APT, I met a few guys from New York, played with a guy from Iowa.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he was the chapter owner in Indiana. Yeah, I think wherever the TPC they're on, I think it's in Indiana. But yeah, and met the guy from New York, and you just meet people from everywhere, man.
Yeah, same way with me, man. I met a lot of cool guys.
Yeah. So man, so what are you looking forward to? Are you gonna play in the fall events?
Well, Larry got one next month in November. What do you call it? A national park course, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 30 miles from my house.
Okay.
So if I don't play and I might have to hear his mouth, I'm just going to play and not to hear his mouth, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I wish I could play in Tunica with you guys, but it's just too soon for me from coming back from Nashville.
Right.
Yeah, but I love that course, man. I wish I could play that, dude. But yeah, I hope which Larry's only going to have one. So I guess I need to look at y'all's schedule and see how many fall. Do y'all have much in the fall?
Right now, we just have the one. Yeah, I think I know that Birmingham is planning some stuff. Matter of fact, Birmingham has one at the end of the month, Limestone Springs. I really wanted to go down there and play that one, but I can't miss the one here, of course. So, and I think, and then they got Ambry. St. Louis is doing the one Ambry.
I love that place.
Hey, you play Ambry, man. I gotta play it again. I told Matt, I have to play that course again, because the last time I played it, I hadn't probably been playing golf for probably about 2 years. And it whooped my tail, man. But it was so beautiful, man. Just like you driving to it, you're going all these cornfields. And then they see, here go a golf course. And but I got to get back up there for that. I know Birmingham has some stuff. My wife wants to go to Atlanta to hang out with her sister-in-law. So I'm trying to convince her to let me go on the weekend. They got a tournament down there. So I can go play golf and then hang out with them, It's like a win-win,
Yeah, I'd love to play during the fall. It just gets cold so quick, though. The weather change. There's not much of a fall around here anymore.
Right.
I mean, it's summer, winter.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks of fall, pretty much.
Yeah.
And when the golf club rattles your hand when you hit the ball, that's too cold for me.
I'm so addicted, man. If it's not below 40, I'll play.
Yeah, about 50 is where I cut it off.
I hear you.
That's what Long John's on.
Yeah. I bought the little thermal thing where you keep your hands in the quarterback wear or whatever.
Yeah, like a quarterback.
Yeah, it's a sponsor of the APT. I can't think of the name of it. Geo somebody. Thermatech or something like that. Anyway, I bought one of them things just so in the wintertime I can go, walk, push on a cart, and I can, my partner got the little motorized thing. I'm thinking about getting one of them or whatever. So he uses it to follow him or whatever. So, you don't even have to push the cart. It goes on its own,
No doubt.
Yeah.
I get jealous when I'm out there in the cold and see these dudes with a cover over their cart and a heater. Hey, I'm like, man, that's what I need right now.
Hey, I got a partner. He a doctor. So, he buy all this crap, He got the cover. He got the heat. And I be like, dude, it's 50 degrees out here. You don't need this. It's too much. But I work outside, so a lot of them,
you're used to it.
Yeah, they sit in the office all day. So really, my body has, and I don't know this is how everybody's body work, but when it goes from summer to winter, because we don't really get a fall. So when, like you said, when it goes to summer to winter, it takes me about a good 2 or 3 days. Once my body adjusts, I can deal with it. I put a skull cap on and the 50s don't really bother me, This when it get below them 40s, start getting into them 30s and I be like, hey man, it's too cold out here.
Yeah. See, I'm a member of this club in Hot Springs.
Okay.
So every time I don't get to go, I feel like I'm losing money.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? I got to get my money's worth.
I know.
They charging for everything.
Yeah.
But I'm going to the range. I'm doing it all.
Yeah.
So my wife will be like, you sure you're going? It's pretty cold out there today.
Hey.
I got to get my money.
You're right. What course is that up there?
Hot Springs Country Club.
Oh, okay.
There's two courses. One's called the Arlington and one's called the Park.
Okay.
Super nice courses. Yeah, they take good care of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Larry have tournaments on that one?
He tried, man, but it was pretty pricey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was going to be. He tried. I gave him a guy's name, which I don't guess that went to. He didn't hold a lot of weight because he called cussing me after he hung up from talking to him.
Yeah,
I think he charged me more once I told him I knew you.
Damn.
He could have.
Hey, he should have known. You don't throw anybody's names out until they say no. And then you say, well, such and such told me you was gonna be more cooperative.
Or he could have just gotten the phone book and looked up a doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones told me to call you. Oh, you know, Doc? Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably would have worked better.
I told him I was going to go try to see if I could work something out, though.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. So what would you say, what keeps people from playing in competitive amateur golf like that, man?
I can kind of, from my experience, I can tell you what I was scared of. So before I played that first golf week tournament, I had played tournaments before, but never on my own. Right. It was always a scramble.
Right.
And those aren't serious at all, pretty much, Right. And people cheat all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then you go up and there's somebody that turned in a 49.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
So, never. And then you buy mulligans, you buy 5 mulligans, you end up using 30.
Yeah.
And then, when me and my buddy was play, we're fluffing the ball up. We don't hit off of rocks. If it's behind a tree, we pull it out.
Yeah, of course.
And then if you hit it out of bounds, you re-tee and you don't count it.
Right.
So when my buddy, his name's Raymond Peavy, he plays on Golf Week. He's telling me all about it. And which when I ran into him, they were at their finals at the club I'm a member at. And that's where they end golf weekends every year. And I just happened to run into the dude because I was out there playing. Well, I'll tell you a funny story. I didn't know they was having no tournament. I should have known. There's cars everywhere. I thought, busy today. But I got there early because I try to beat, a country club sometimes they'll have a group out of there of 30 dudes,
Right.
So I'm trying to beat them guys out there.
Right.
Well, I'm out there playing, I ain't a soul around. All of a sudden, here comes a guy. Hey, man, there's a tournament here today. You got to go on the other side. I was like, oh, my bad. So it was golf week. I didn't know nothing about it, But when I get done, I see my buddy in the parking lot. And I'm like, and he lives like, an hour and a half from me. I'm like, man, what are you doing here?
Thank you for listening to the Burn the Edge podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe. And check us out wherever you get your podcasts. We are available on Amazon Music, Google, Apple, Spotify. Just check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And we will be coming to you at least once a week now. We're back on the saddle now. Check us out. Thank you for listening to the Burn the Edge podcast.